If every time when you have to present your work, you feel that stress incoming of it is going to take forever, I hate doing this, my only goal in a presentation is just to survive it, I want to talk about that today and see what is actually the problem, what doesn't work and what does work and how to fix it and see what we can do about it. So what happens actually is that when you think a little bit about what is it that stresses you, because this is something that I have also been experiencing a lot before I started all of this coaching thing, and I was like, what is it that actually stresses me out? And after some thinking about it, I realized that the thing that stresses me out is not actually the presentation per se, but all that comes before. Like the decision making, the endless amount of decisions that I have to make before I even start doing the slides, right? And this is like, I have this bunch of data that I have to work with, and then all of a sudden I'm supposed to make sense of it to myself and then to others. Like this was too much for me, clearly. So what I would do, I would procrastinate until the very last minute, and then I would just stand there at 11 p.m., sometimes even 2 or 3 a.m. before the conference, watching and staring at those blank slides, trying to figure out how to put it all together and wishing if only someone could tell me exactly what goes where. So this is a problem, and as I said, the solution clearly isn't to do it all at once. What actually works is to separate those two steps, I would say, into two parts. First of all, you make all of the decisions, you structure your data, you decide what goes where, and then you start building the slides or writing that report, that thesis or paper. And the reason why this works is because that way, when you are focusing on the writing, you know what to write about. You know that chapter 2, section 3 is going to be about, I don't know, mitochondria or Newton's law, I don't know. So you do not have this situation in which, oh, what should I put there? Should it be chapter 2 or chapter 3? Should I maybe organize it in this way or in that way? So this is the decision that you actually make prior to that. Prior to that, you decide, you structure your work, you put some order into this messy bunch of data that you have, and then you proceed with the writing or with the design of the slides and everything. So this works for many reasons. One of the reasons this works is actually because it provides you this sense of control. And I feel that the thing that I and most of my clients crave in those chaotic situations is control, like what goes where, and having this clear roadmap of how will I get to that point? How will I reach the end of this slides, presentations, reports, thesis, and so on. And this is exactly what you can achieve if you split those two parts. If you do this exercise of preparing the structure first, I used to call this the writing sheet or the presentation sheet, something that makes you make the structure of your data, of your work, it builds sort of the story, it builds character to the entire thing, so that you do not have to make all of those decisions at the same time while staring at the blank slide. Ideally, I would say not the night before the conference. So doing this is actually the hard part, making those decisions, because once you have it clear, I know from experience and from my clients' experience that it is much, much, much easier to really structure the entire thing, because once you have the things done, then it's much easier to just say, okay, this is going to go here, I will put this sentence here, I will write about that here, and that's it. However, doing this part of structuring the work, depending on how much work you have. For example, if you've been writing a PhD thesis, doing a PhD, and you have to write the PhD thesis, of course, the decision making of what goes where into the thesis is going to take some time, and this is why it is very, very important to be very certain at that point, saying, okay, today I'm going to think about the organization of my thesis. You don't want to be there formatting the thing and deciding what goes where at the very end of your deadline. So doing this is actually the hard part, and learning how to do so. So how to go from mess to structure is something that I feel that we as STEM professionals haven't been trained to do when it comes to expressing our work. We are brilliant at seeing structure when it comes to our work, our expertise, and the technical side, yet we miss that structure, ability to structure when it comes to expressing ourselves. However, this isn't a problem if it doesn't affect you, because it is a skill that can be learned. And doing this is something that not only saves you time, but this streamlining of your thoughts and structuring your thoughts, ideas, and data is something that gives you time. It gives you more time because that way you do not have this panic, last minute panic spirals before you have to express your work, whether for a meeting, a promotion, a presentation, or even a pitch. So I really invite you to think about the next time you have your presentation, start and split those two processes into two parts, which are actually two processes: the problem and and I would say the error in our head and in our brain comes up once we actually try to solve both of those problems at the same time. When we try to structure and write, when we try to structure and decide and design slides at the same time. So doing this, structuring your work and making sure that it always makes sense and that you always know what goes where is exactly what I teach STEM professionals how to do. In my coaching program, I help you provide and give structure to that talk, to that pitch, to that thesis that you're about to write, or to that paper that's been there sitting on your desk or on your to-do list for years. So if you're interested in training this muscle, in actually learning how to streamline this process, organize your thought, articulate it in a way that is understandable and easy for you, I will leave a link down below in the description where you can schedule a completely free introductory session with me, where we can talk about that. You can sort of get a glimpse of how coaching works and how my coaching can help you structure your thoughts in a way that is clear, effective, and showcases all of your brilliance. So I hope you found this video useful, that you will apply this method the next time you have to present your work. And as always, see you very, very soon with another video. Bye-bye.